My name is Tarago. I'm a fighter from the Soviet Union. I fight all my life and I never lose. Soon I fight Rocky Balboa and the world will see his defeat. Soon the whole world will know my name. Tarago.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy G coming back to you from the 432, and in this video I'd really like to rewind back to November 21st, 1985, the day that Sylvester Stallone first released his Rocky IV film. And the reason we're doing so is because I'd like to give you a bit of a retrospective review over this film in hopes to try to influence you to watch the fourth installment to the Rocky franchise, because at the end of the day, Creed 2 would have never came to fruition if it wasn't for Rocky IV. And personally, this one is actually my favorite one to watch out of the entire anthology, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to explain why throughout this review video, but really quick, if you haven't seen Rocky IV and don't wish to get spoiled, go ahead and stop or keep watching because there will be spoilers in this information. Alright everybody, so first things first, the movie takes place 6 months to 1 year after the fight with Clubber Lang, leaving the sparring match between Rocky and Apollo at the ending of Rocky III as a bridge to Rocky IV. But then shortly after this, we see Rocky go home where more time passes by and we get to meet our new villain named Ivan Drago, a young, hungry Russian amateur boxer from the Soviet Union looking to make his professional debut by challenging Rocky Balboa to an exhibition match. Only Apollo tells Rocky that he wishes to step in to take on the Russian himself, despite what everybody, including Rocky, is telling him not to do so. But the fight ends up getting made where Apollo starts acting like his old self again, cocky and confident against the young and hungry amateur, completely underestimating Ivan Drago. This man was so confident that he even had James Brown perform Living in America for his introduction. It makes me wonder if Apollo even had a training camp for this fight, because he gets completely destroyed by Ivan Drago, not standing a lick of chance, everybody. This guy was getting the worst beating of his life, getting tossed around and punched up by a young amateur that everybody thought Apollo was going to run through. But no, everything was taking a dark turn, especially how Apollo didn't want Rocky to stop the fight, despite the beating he was taking.
You can't do no more out there. I'm here to fight. He's killing you. I gotta stop this thing. I'm here to fight, promise me. You're not gonna stop this fight.
You can see in Rocky's eyes that he did not want Apollo to continue. But Rocky respected Apollo and allowed him to go into the second round, which was a pretty bad call because Ivan Drago ends up landing a deadly shot where it left Apollo out on his feet, crashing down to the canvas, causing absolute chaos. Rocky is trying his best to give Apollo some breathing room, but the media is just all over the situation. Ivan Drago is definitely the real deal. He just knocked out and killed the former heavyweight champion Apollo Creed.
If he dies, he dies.
Where at this moment we see the fury, the rage, the anger, the guilt, all in Rocky's eyes. But shortly after we see Apollo's funeral, Rocky actually pushes for the fight against Ivan Drago. Only the Boxing Council disagrees with Rocky and does not want him mixing it up with Ivan Drago at all. And for those that have been keeping up with the Rocky franchise, there is a Rocky IV director's cut that came out on November 11th, 2021, where we actually get to see more of what happened throughout this movie, everybody. 40 minutes of original footage was added to the director's cut that will help you better understand how the fight between Rocky and Ivan Drago came to fruition. I haven't seen the movie myself, I just read about it in an article. Only I will be doing a Rocky IV director's cut sometime down the line because I really want to do the Creed 2 first before I go back and do that one. But Rocky successfully gets the fight with Ivan Drago, where we find out that it will be taking place on December 25th, 1985 in Moscow, Russia.
Has the fight date been set yet?
December 25th.
Why Christmas?
That's what I was told.
Where?
It's in Russia.
Are you nuts?
Completely raising the stakes for my man Rocky, because not only will he be fighting Ivan Drago, he will also be fighting against his country that will be standing behind Ivan Drago in his own backyard, everybody. Intense. This is one of the reasons why I love Rocky 4, because the stakes were completely raised, everybody, especially in the time period this fight was taking place in. But after finding out that Rocky successfully gets the fight with Ivan Drago, we see that Adrian does not like the fact that he's going through this.
You can't win!
His biggest fan tells Rocky that he can't win. And if that doesn't raise the bar even higher, I don't know what does, everybody. Because Adrian has been Rocky's biggest fan ever since the beginning of the franchise. And for her to say not to go through it says a lot, everybody. Rocky had so much on his plate, especially for him having to go to Russia in order to begin training camp. This man literally went from fighting in clubs to overseas in a championship fight. Amazing storytelling by Sylvester Stallone, everybody. I highly recommend this movie. Not only for the storyline, but for the training montages as well. The No Easy Way Out scene was iconic.
There's no easy way out.
The Burning Heart soundtrack when Rocky was on his way to Russia was awesome. Really set the tone and the time frame that this movie was being set in. America against Russia, East against West, the Cold War, everybody. Now, the first training montage that Rocky goes on is absolutely mesmerizing. The soundtrack that's playing in the background fits so perfectly to each and every scene. It's almost like you can feel the coldness and the tension that Rocky was feeling throughout his training. But I thought this was a pretty cool scene because you can actually see the different styles of training that these two are going through. Rocky is going through a more old school style, while Ivan Drago was using the latest and greatest technologies to help him beat Rocky. Pretty much showcasing that Rocky didn't really need much to train. But once the first training montage ends, we see that Adrian actually went to Russia to help support and be by Rocky's side, like she's always been, no matter what happens. She loves Rocky so much that she's gonna be with him through thick and thin. But this was enough to push Rocky to new heights and motivate him into the second training montage where Hearts on Fire played in the background. This training montage was my favorite out of the entire movie because it was very different, very 80s, and very intense. Because like I said, Ivan Drago was using the latest and greatest technologies to help him train and beat Rocky, while Rocky was doing a more old school style, using the land and nothing else but his heart and determination. Amazing song and amazing scene, everybody. I highly recommend this movie once again. But come fight night, things start to get really intense because we can literally see, feel, and hear the intensity of the crowd. You can't help but feel nervous for Rocky and the team because they are on hostile territory, being watched for every little thing that they do. But Rocky has a stone cold face on, ready to take on Ivan Drago and anybody else that stands in his way. And the music that was playing during this scene was just absolutely bone-chilling, everybody. Rocky was about to walk into the biggest fight of his life, everybody. Nothing but chills during this moment because you can almost feel the pressure that Rocky was feeling as he walked up to the ring. The man barely got into the ring before Ivan Drago made his entrance, which I thought was pretty epic for this character because Ivan Drago looked unstoppable, everybody. He had a 1,000-yard stare and it was focused right on Rocky. But what I really loved most about this scene was the national anthem that the entire Soviet Union sang for Ivan Drago. An absolutely powerful scene, everybody, especially the way that Drago and Rocky kept staring at each other. You can see Drago trying to intimidate Rocky, expecting him to turn away, but Rocky didn't back down and let him know through his eyes that he was ready for war. both came in phenomenal shape, everybody. The best shape that we've ever seen Rocky in. And what gets me the most about this scene was the size comparison between Rocky and Ivan Drago.
I must break you.
You can't help but feel nervous for Rocky because you know damn well he's about to go through a very, very tough fight against a younger, taller, stronger opponent, absolutely raising the stakes even more for Rocky because now he's out of his prime, doesn't have Mickey or Apollo, he's fighting on hostile territory against a taller, much younger opponent. Absolutely beautiful writing by Stallone once again, everybody. But once the first bell rings, we see Drago immediately start pounding away on Rocky, displaying his brutal power and the long jab that Rocky has to get through in order to even touch Ivan Drago. And when he does, Ivan lets him get a few shots in before turning the tables on him and starts pounding away with much faster and harder punches.
Rocky Balboa is in serious trouble. They might have to stop this one before somebody gets killed.
And even during the beginning of round 2, Rocky is getting tossed around more than what he did in the first round, making Ivan Drago look even more unstoppable. Until...
He's cut! He's cut! Russian's cut!
With Rocky being backed up into a corner like that, he had no choice but to go right through Ivan Drago, absolutely turning the tables and causing the fight to shift another gear. Because once round 3 begins, we get this amazing fighting montage between Rocky and Drago with a theme called War playing in the background. Which absolutely made this entire fight very, very intense. You couldn't help but be on the edge of your seat throughout the entirety of the fight, everybody. No matter how hard Drago was hitting Rocky, Rocky kept getting up, which actually won him the crowd towards the ending of the fight, which was an absolutely powerful, powerful scene, everybody.
Neither man backing off, and Rocky Balboa's determination is actually beginning to win over what was once a hostile crowd. This is incredible.
Rocky has earned the respect of a hostile Russian crowd. Absolutely unexpected, everybody. This scene gives me chills every single time, especially the way Duke delivers his last message to Rocky before heading into the 15th round.
All your strength, all your power, all your love, everything you've got.
Rocky was obviously going to lose the fight for many reasons, so he had to knock out Drago in the 15th round, which is not an easy thing to do if you fought the way Rocky and Drago did. Both were very, very fatigued. It all came down to who really wanted it more. And obviously it was Rocky that wanted it more because he ends up knocking out Drago with only a couple of seconds to spare in the 15th round, everybody. Absolutely amazing. Rocky defeats Ivan Drago in his own backyard, successfully avenging the death of his friend Apollo Creed. Rocky then makes his iconic speech that, in my opinion, ended the Cold War.
Everybody can change.
Folks, this was an amazing movie. I highly recommend everybody to watch this 4th film because, like I said, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for Rocky 4, Creed 2 would have never came to fruition. There would have never been a story to go off of. And without Creed 2, there would not have been a Creed 3, which is actually expected to be released on March 3rd, 2023. Only the story didn't end in Russia for Rocky Balboa. He ended up going back to America in Rocky 5, where he would endure a new life and a new journey. I will be doing a review video for Rocky 5 next, everybody. I'm very excited. I'm getting closer and closer to the Creed movies because once again, Creed 3 will be released March 3rd, 2023, with Rocky 3 and Rocky 5 cameos that I will be doing videos over. So y'all make sure to turn on every single notification and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on great nostalgic content, everybody. But until then, peace, love, and hair grease, my friends. This your boy G. I'm out.